It's okay. But now. What's up, guys? Sorry, I have some trouble getting the command to work to unhost previously hosted channel, but now it looks okay. Maybe my Twitch was... Alright. What's up? Friday challenges. Let's get a warm-up game before I play PSG Soccer Rook. Too strong for the first game. I just had a bad night last night. I couldn't sleep for some reason. So it was really late before I fell asleep. 3 a.m. Let's get a warm-up game to get started. Just hang on, PSG Soccer Rook. While I get my name set up here, my game set up here. The name is the game. The game is the name. I can't even talk properly. All right, lobby. But where is everybody? What? There's one game at 45? Something's wrong with this. Blitz. Blitz Rapid Classical. There's only one game available? Seriously? There's nobody playing Blitz? 4+8 against the 1300. What's up, Asterbait? PSG Soccer Rook. Thanks, guys, for being subscribers. I'm just going to play a quick warm-up here to remember how to move the pieces. 1762 with no increment. Guys, only 5+3. Unless Grandmaster Todorov shows up. Yesterday, he challenged me to 5-0 casual. I wouldn't mind playing him 5-0 casual if he does decide to come by today. He's terribly underrated. And I refuse to play him rated anymore, just like giving him my points. It's not going to happen. Okay, so Bishop F4, interesting. I don't think this is very good for white. I had a similar position myself with white recently. Probably we should just take that out and play for E5. And even if the bishop goes back to H2, yeah, that's a bad move. He had to play to H2. Now I have bishop H4, G5. His position is destroyed. Giving me the pawn. He's got no problems with moving fast. I see this a lot. But speed isn't everything, guy. Look at this. Rook D1. Well, I mean, I'm wondering, who does Todorov play except for me? Like, he's only challenging me, but honestly, if he played other people like me, he would gain rating points from them too. So I'm kind of wondering, if he can crush 2500s, why is he 2500 himself? You know? But whatever. Casual's fine with me if you're an underrated grandmaster. I don't mind losing, but I'm not going to just donate all my rating points to the guy for nothing. Rating's not that important to me, but I don't want to look like an idiot. So, if I can help it, I'm not just going to give him all my points. White here actually doesn't seem like that bad of a player, but he's trying to play instant moves without thinking. Too fast. You know, you've got a bad position, you need to take more time than the opponent. Another thing that people do that I noticed, you know, it's okay to play faster if you have a good position and it's easy to play, but when you have a bad position, you have some sort of problems, you got to start to think and take your time. You know, you don't just keep playing just as fast when their position starts to be problematic. Naturally, like, the worse your position gets, the more you need to think to try to find the best move. I see a lot of people just maintaining the same pace as if there's someone standing behind them, like, you know, whipping them like a horse or something. I mean, you can use your time. You know, it's okay. This case is 5+0. He has to move quickly, but still, I mean, once he realized he had a problem here, you know, let's say after move 12, like he instantly recaptured c takes d in this position. I mean, it looks like if you play this correctly with something like pawn takes e takes d4, white is clearly worse, but maybe there's chances to hold this. All right, welcome to PSG Sakharuk, Mr. Slowhand. A little bit late here. I was trying to figure out how to unhost Pepelu, who I actually hosted him while he wasn't streaming last night, and it didn't want to disappear, but we're good to go now. The unhost command wasn't working at first. It just wouldn't go away, and then finally it just disappeared. All right, PSG, what do we do? D6. And if d4, I'll play the King's Indian. Asterbate, how are you? I used to play the King's Indian exclusively, and I would play King's Indian type of setups against the English. Here, f5's interesting move. The problem with f5, d4, e4 is that I don't have bishop e4 anymore. So this does pose a slight problem. Yeah, we'll have to play like this. PSG Sakharuk. His weakness seems to be opening theory. Doesn't know a lot of opening theory. Critical, of course, is d4. But if he wants to play in English, then he's staying in English opening territory. d4 is clearly the best move. We actually talked about the position yesterday by a different order of moves. But after d4, black has to play like an old Indian or push or take any kind of move that black can make there. Black is slightly worse. Now, however, we have likely, actually, still I don't know if I love this with my knight on f6. He tries to play a sort of, yeah, okay, his knight's on f3, so either way we both have misplaced knights. If white and black are trying to play f4 or f5, the knights are in the way, which is a very typical break if the structure is closed in the center. Okay. White doesn't have to play e4, though. I've already committed to e5. If he plays e4, then the natural break would be f4. But he doesn't have to play a setup with e4. Like, I think technically he should probably play g3 here and a normal fianchetto. PSG Sakharuk is a good player. We've got Asterbate in the stream. Great game you submitted yesterday, by the way, Asterbate. And Tactics in Chess from Hungary. All right, we've got mainline English. Mainline classical English. I haven't played this in years, but I'm thinking of switching to c4, e5. If I switch, because I was playing c4, c5 for a long time, but I've basically given up on it. It's just too boring. Throw the Richard Palliser book in the trash heap. You can't make c4, c5 glamorous for black. It's just, it's a grind and it's boring. C4, c5 against the English is like a good repertoire if you just want to have maybe a good chance to draw, but playing for a win with symmetrical English is like inane. PSG Sakharuk, I think I played this move against a young lady from Serbia in a tournament 2 years ago. She's a strong player from that country. I believe I played the exact same line with white. It's not a great variation. White gives up the bishop. Doesn't really have anything in the long term. I don't remember what I played here with white. I'm not sure I played knight d5. I might have played like rook c1 or something like that. White doesn't have any edge here. Oh, I just missed e4 winning the exchange. That's why b4 is not a good move, dude. You're just losing an exchange. You're going to sack an exchange for a pawn. Maybe that's good. e4, pawn takes pawn, bishop takes a1, queen takes a1. Maybe I inherently sensed it or something. I don't really like taking rooks on a1. Do you guys believe it's possible to calculate subconsciously? This is an interesting philosophical chess debate I've been having with myself and the viewers for a while. I should ask my friend who's like a doctor of psychology and also an avid chess master, Chris Chabris. If he thinks it's possible to do subconscious calculation without even knowing you're doing it. Like, because it almost felt like I didn't actively calculate that, but I sort of sensed, you know, okay, we've got a very close, it's hard to explain, but it's a very fine line between like intuition and subconscious calculation. Like, I'm not trying to just, you know, use a new word to define intuition. Intuition is intuition, all right? I'm not talking about your intuitive sense that that's probably okay, you know. I'm talking about, is it possible that the brain is like literally calculating concrete variations more, you know, sort of like in a more defined way in the unconscious. I'm not saying like subconscious calculation is a new a new term for intuition, you know. Did I actually calculate something there without even realize I was doing it? It's an interesting question. I mean, this is just something I sort of made up, but sometimes it makes me wonder. And I mean, I think it becomes an interesting philosophical discussion when you do compare it to the concept of intuition. Sorry guys, I don't mean to be too heavy and philosophical on a Friday morning, but I didn't sleep well last night. I feel like I have a hangover. I'm always very philosophical when I have a hangover. Alexander Ivanov, an old rival and friend of mine, he always loved to play this kind of position with black. He would just rip me apart. 2 bishops. And then just expand, like, several horrifying games I lost in positions like this. But if d5, maybe white has some sort of counter chances. I don't really see it, honestly. Precognition. See, acerbate, we might be tapping into the subconscious there. Cause and effect has yet to be established. Not really sure of the best way to do this. But I guess Ivanov's main idea in these type of structures was to just sort of smush that bishop on g2. Like, you play e4 and you have this flying buttress here. The flying buttress. Believe me, we tried to do this for years. Eventually I had to stop playing the English opening against Ivanov because it's so hopeless. But I mean, you know, you pay a price for giving up this bishop on g5 on f6. The dark square bishop is now a menace. Very powerful. It's a wild card. There's a lot of strength on the dark squares here. Even in the endgame, should he make it to an endgame, GM. Yeah, it looks like something I would have done with white against Ivanov years ago. Black is clearly dominant here. Queen f7 or queen f6. I don't think exchanging queens is bad, but I don't think it's as much as I would like. Probably this is an interesting point to debate queen f6 where the dark squares. I mean, he could try, for example, d4 right now. But then rook c8, queen b4. Hoppa. See, this would have prevented that annoying move too. Knight d4. f4. f4, knight d4, pawn takes g3. Am I sacrificing a pawn here? Not exactly. PSG Sakharuk is in time pressure, but he's usually fast. He just lost on time. That's weird. The problem is the knight here coming to d4 would cut off his defense of f2. And if he takes on e4, he opens up, bishop takes b3. So it's not that simple to solve the problem here for white. For example, this exchange might leave him in a lost position. The engine agrees. This exchange is unfavorable, but I don't think I would have found like the engine suggestion here of d4. That's a little beyond my capabilities trying to move quickly. I might have just played this sort of routine recapture, queen takes f4, and white's disadvantage is a minimum. But you know, it comes down to bishop g5. I don't think this is a great line for white, having even played it myself, but it's probably not that bad. But you really have to be careful afterwards. It looks like this move, I think I actually played rook c1 against the Serbian girl. There's the game. I know this looks like a strange move, rook c1, but the idea is that I protect this, but the other idea is a little bit deep. I mean, when the knight lands on d5, if she goes knight e7, knight takes d5, there will always be, this is kind of a Dvoretsky thing, but there will always be pressure down the c line. Dvoretsky was always talking to me about, when we had a lesson on this opening, about how ideally you'd like to like triple your pieces on the c file. Play knight d5 and like triple your pieces on the c file. But this is actually more of a common move, rook b1. You try to play like rook b1 and then bring the other rook over to c1. There's even a Fabiano game. But I've never seen anyone go knight d5 right away. Equally uncommon. Igor Glek. Okay, it's probably not bad. Queen d8. Played b4. This is interesting though. That's what I was talking about. Subconscious calculation. I chose not to play this move. Even though I can win the exchange, I didn't actually calculate this. I'm just wondering if I subconsciously calculated. It's pretty awkward, you know, for black to have to play f6 in order to prevent like knight f6 check. So I probably made the right decision. But that's a crafty try by PSG Sakharuk, and I just sort of luckily have avoided it. I normally don't like to win this exchange in the closed Sicilian. So we just played what the engine said is best, you know. But I mean, the thing is, PSG Sakharuk, that I've played and lost myself like this a lot, you know, as I said on the stream. So take what you learn and use it against other people. Gamchik, I'm not taking rated challenges and anything faster than 5+3. All right, welcome everybody. Mr. Slohan, thank you for your donations. Imre Bardi Imre. Greetings from across town. Marwa. Actually, Imre, I don't know if he's living in Budapest, but he is Hungarian. Marwa is our friend from France. Congratulations to Marwa for crossing 2020 as a 2,000 plus player. Oh, you're in Debrecen. Okay, cool. I haven't been to Debrecen in a while. Sometimes we would have matches against teams in Debrecen, but I haven't been for a year or two, probably over there. Yeah, Morwa, congratulations for reaching 2,000 FIDE for the new year. Okay, guys, let's get started. So, Mr. Slowhands. What are we going to play? I've been kind of trying to play more e4. E4. Last time I played f3, but we're not going to do the same thing. But I don't want to be too predictable. This is... What did we do last time? a3, knight c3, bishop e4, a3. Yesterday we went over a game of Zen chess in our subscriber stream, Zen chesses. Mr. Sohan, I guess we played you in this before, but it's been a little while. Not a lot of choices here. I guess bishop d3 is a move. I'm not a huge fan. Actually, one of my teammates played this line a few weeks ago in the Hungarian Team Championship. Bishop d3, c5, d takes c. This looks pretty innocuous. He just took. I guess that's a line too. White should be a little better. This actually transposes to the infamous Anita Gara against Levon Aronian game from Gibraltar a couple years ago when she drew, or Hungarian woman men's IM drew with Aronian using this line in Gibraltar a couple years ago. A different order of moves though. Anita played, a former teammate of mine, Anita played bishop d3 on move 3. It's kind of an offbeat variation, but annoying for black to deal with, actually. Okay, I've never played this. I guess knight f3 would transpose to a normal, just a kind of normal line. But I was thinking of something else, maybe knight e2, knight f6, bishop. Now we just got like a very standard Rubinstein variation. That not a line that I play with white though. Mr. Coffee, thanks for subscribing. You know, it's funny, Mr. Coffee. I have to confess, I was tempted to troll you. Yesterday after our... I won't actually do it, but I just wanted to tell my idea. Yesterday after we had this joke about grandmasters, and I was wondering why men are called masters, you know, why women can't be mistresses. And I know in today's equality world, that's probably inappropriate, but not a big deal. Anyway, I was thinking Mr. Coffee would be funny if we created, because you reacted to that joke. I thought it'd be funny if we created a Mrs. Coffee. I was going to create an account called Mrs. Coffee and troll you. That would be hilarious. But anyway. All right. I'm not sure like all the Europeans know about Mr. Coffee, because we don't really I don't know if they have Mr. Coffee here. You know, it's not like a common European brand. I guess I just have to castle kingside. The temptation is to try to play more aggressively. I know this doesn't look like an aggressive move, but it would enable me to castle queenside in some lines. But it's so obvious what I'm doing, isn't it? Mistress used to have no connotation to it, funnily enough. Funnily is not a word, but I've used it before, I admit. Maybe it is a word. You know, it's one of those things where you think it's not a word, and probably, haha, it is a word. Look, it's in the dictionary. But I don't know. We were just joking about mistress. Mistress. They would get offended if you had different titles for women. I mean, the whole political correctness thing, it's a bit much, but I empathize with it. So b5, this is not the standard reaction. Usually you would see like c5. So I'm wondering if I have time to launch a serious attack here. Don't really want to play c3 anymore, having seen b5. So we're going to have problems with protecting our pawn. The issues are with protecting our pawn. I wanted to play g4. Just do it. Let's just do it. I think that's the answer. Simple as that. Leboyevich says don't take on g4. The attack has begun. I could have played queen e4, inducing g6. But ultimately, that might have been a good idea. Actually, queen e4, g6, h4. I just didn't really feel right about leaving my rook on the long diagonal. Warren Kessler, thank you. Welcome back. Sorry we couldn't accept your challenge yesterday, but if you want to play, I'm taking challenges 5+3 casual today. A hamburger tomorrow. Don't you dare attacking Mr. Slow. I think it was Gligorich. The first time I saw a game where someone just violently attacked the Rubinstein system with like g4. A very nice game. Now he's after my d-pawn, but that looks Mr. Slow living up to his name with knight b6. Mr. Slow is slow. So now you get to see my devious idea here. This is, I swear on the holy whatever, that I really thought about this in advance. This was the plan to go there, but I missed queen d5. Shit. You can play queen there. I missed it. I can't say I planned this out. Otherwise, I'm losing. This looks like one of Blobix's grind them down games. Blovix, I guess I learned from you. I was inspired by your game yesterday. I liked your position better than mine, somehow. Though there are strange similarities with it. The bishop was more free. Free bishop? What? What? What are you guys talking about? What is this about free bishops? It's an attacking move, Turkey Farm. Queen d5 is a classic. I can't believe that I forgot about that. I can't believe that he can get away with this, though. Like playing knight b6 in a tense position and everything's okay. Like that's completely okay for black. Mr. Slow's name is a misnomer. He's not Mr. Slow. What? What kind of trick is this? Psychological tactic? I believe you pulled this nonsense on me. Man, that is a brilliant move to find with no time. Are you kidding me? What? It's a new Mr. Slow today. Master, Mr. Slow. Faster, master. F5. Wow. His knight might be trapped. No, he went too far with F5. That was close. He played 99% of the games like a solid master. 99% of the game. I think he might have even been better if he had played them more accurately. He could have taken the G5 pawn instead of that. What was the other one? You could have taken the G5 pawn earlier. I bet you regret that now. You did take the G5 pawn. What the fuck am I talking about? Excuse me. I meant F2. Maybe I meant F2. I said G5, but meant F2. You did take the G5 pawn, but you could take on F2. Let's see. Apparently no good, surprisingly. Wow. So maybe he never equalized? I almost had an accident when he attacked this F2 pawn. It's just sort of miraculous that I'm still better here. It's hard to save his knight. King g7, king d2, king f6. How does his knight... He's going to play g5. So if he plays perfectly from this position, which isn't easy to do, Blobik's one of the few perfect in-game players I know. I probably would have played like this. And then g5. He plays perfectly. He rescues his knight on h3 and holds the game. I had knight f7 and knight d8. Wait. Instead of knight at d3 is what you're saying. Knight d8 or knight g5. Knight g5 doesn't work. I mean, I just saw this as hanging, you know. I don't think knight d8 works. He just takes this, doesn't he? No, it's not. It's not clear. I was always okay. After rook g4, queen d5, he gets out of all his troubles. Luckily, I have queen e4, saving myself. I wonder where we left book. a6 is actually a move, but it's played by Imodi, Doctor, and Drazic. Drazic was probably selling books while he played this move. Not a very common position, actually. I guess bishop d2 is pretty rare. Oddly, the second most common move in this position. Mr. Slohan, good game. Thank you. Enjoy your lunch. Yuri Shkuru. Surprisingly rare. Sophie Cow. What? Oh, I remember that game. That's funny. We've seen this position before. Sophie Cow is a Hungarian grandmaster. Oddly enough. Would you believe that? They've miswritten Cao Shang's name here. He's a Vietnamese grandmaster who relocated to Hungary. Well, actually, he trained here for years. He actually just played in the Hungarian Knockout Championship. But for some reason, this is funny. He played in some tournament, and they confused his last name with some other player's first name. So they wrote it Sophie Cow. I was like, who is Sophie Cow? Wow, she's like 25-14. All right. On to the next game. Bardi Imre, my former teammate. Cao Shang. Imre Bardi with e4. All right, we're going to try to play more classical stuff here. e4, e5, f4. We had a game the other day that was kind of fun. We'll continue as where we left off last time with, who was it on Wednesday? Wednesday when we left off with our hero. Trying to sound like the Rocky and Bullwinkle show. Last time when we left off, our hero had played bishop c5. What did he play? What am I doing? There was a strange move played by our opponent last time, wasn't there? That's not it. Guys, who remembers the game from Tuesday? Did I do something different? Did I play like c6 or something? Oh, that's what it must have been. I played bishop c5, and our opponent played bishop c4, which is a move I had never seen before. It's normally bishop d3. Does that sound right? Anyone with any sense of chess can see that I don't normally play the black side of the King's Gambit, because I don't know this very well, but knight d4 should be a blunder. Well, I mean, obviously I could just take on d5. First of all, we have queen takes d5, and then secondly, queen h4 check, g3, knight takes g3, knight f3. It looks like a Latvian reversed or something. I could even play queen h5 there. And then like rook g1 is kind of out. It's hard to decide which one is better. Queen takes d5, I guess, at least equalizes. Black's slightly better after queen takes d5. Maybe more than slightly. But queen h4 check, g3, knight takes g3, knight f3. I mean, let's look at another variation. Queen h4 check, g3, knight takes g3, h takes g3. Does he get mated? Queen takes g3 check? No. H takes g3, queen h1, queen e2 check. I have to move my king or bishop. I mean, I don't know. I don't see how this is okay for white. Just looks busted. But knight d4 is a very bad move. It doesn't promote white's development. He's already behind in development. That's the primary problem with the Falkbeer with white, that you're actually falling behind in development. Presumably, okay, I have also queen e7 check. I was just kidding about queen h5. Take first on d4. Then check. It develops a piece for white. I would assume that if bishop d4, queen h4 check, g3, knight takes g3, h takes g3, queen takes g7. White has some compensation, maybe not enough, but queen takes g7. I have a check. Actually, I'd have a check there. On e4, followed by something like bishop d4. You may be right. No, my bishop's gone. Piece coming back to life. Variation. Queen g7, queen e4 check, bishop e2, rook f8. I'm not so sure about that. You know, his queen ends up very strong here on d4. No, this simply wins by force. He just lost a rook. He has bishop e5 check. But he's about to get pulverized by a second queen h4. If you play the King's Gambit, you better know what you're doing in this, because it's very popular. I think the Falkbeer really has become almost like a main line. When I was playing chess, since I was a kid, I liked to experiment with the King's Gambit, but I never played it seriously. But the Falkbeer was always a major issue. The other day, someone played bishop d3. No, bishop c4 against me, no? Was the position different somehow? Yeah, this isn't right. That's odd. I must have played c6 then. So I played c6. Okay, that's what it was. I played c6 and the opponent played bishop c4. It's a different position. I played c6 myself last time. But bishop c5 is the main line. So you have to play queen e2 here. I remember I had a friend who insisted on playing this years ago. Queen takes e4. We had some games with this. Like f6 or something, but this looks stupid for black. It's just white's probably has too much development. Okay, guys. Oh, queen e2. I mean, I'm not sure, but it looks like there's some problems here after queen e2. Clearly, it's not clear what black should do. David Bronstein. Bishop f5. I guess I faced this myself. Knight c3. Queen e7. It's not clear if black has enough compensation for the sacrificed pawn. Okay, Morwa, Blizzard, Blobix. Queen e2 against the French. You don't see in a lot of high-level games, but it's playable. Related to the King's Indian attack. Morwa plays too fast. What I don't like about this line is that, okay, let's see. I don't really know this variation very well. I was looking at this with someone the other day. Bishop b7 is a kind of cool move that's very rarely played, but I couldn't find anything for white against that, Morwa. You should look at bishop b7 as well. Queen c7 is the main line. I don't really know the theory here. I think it's the main line, queen c7. Everybody knows this, right? The king walk. I'm supposed to like walk out here. Excuse me, that's my queen. King ends up like walking up in this line. Isn't that it? c4. The pandas, well, you have to watch my stream for the last couple of years. The bigger panda was my sort of mascot, but then he couldn't be in America when I was streaming over there. So the smaller one was added later as a substitute. Scrub panda. We've had various pandas. Now they're all together united in one place. I confess I never played this line with white. I was kind of hoping he would play bishop b7 since I analyzed that the other day. c4, bishop b4 check, king e2. But what I don't understand is what happens if c4 knight e3. Why isn't that good for black? I don't think I even like c4. You know, sometimes it's better just to figure out positions on your own. Maybe it's almost an advantage not to know theory, but obviously not time-wise, but like Walter Brown would think on the sixth move of the Najdorf, even though he knew it perfectly. Bishop d3. Bishop d3, knight e3. The knight e3 is a problem in all lines. See, this is where it's better to have memorized the theory, because I just don't remember what I'm supposed to do. There's probably more than one move for white, I would assume. Queen f3 is interesting. Then knight b4 becomes a problem. He has me at a disadvantage here. I never play knight takes c6. I've always played other stuff, mostly knight b5. Alright, we're getting low on time, but it's an increment, so that's okay. Marwat plays too fast. In fact, getting in time pressure sometimes makes people go crazy. Sometimes it's better that way. Is knight e3 a huge threat? Trying to come up with an original idea here. It's hard to do. Am I supposed to play c4? Is that it? Doesn't seem right. That can't be the move. Anything's possible. The archives of information. This is like mainline. I just don't remember, you know, when you look at chess magazines enough, and then it's sitting there in my subconscious memory somewhere. I just don't know why, like, knight e3 is not a good move after c4. It must have something to do with... what does it have to do with? I don't know. This is like book. I remember seeing like Nick DeFermian play this. I don't even know if knight f6 is a good move. Probably not. I'm supposed to play like knight d6 check. Now my king is out in the middle of the board. Not necessarily a healthy place. White has a very, very adventurous king, and yeah, I think knight f6 is probably a mistake. Probably. Queen b7 doesn't look right. For all I know, it's like theory. No, it's a real line. But I still don't understand why knight e3 isn't good for black. I must be missing something obvious. The king's supposed to come out here. This was a stupid move by me. He should have played like rook b8 or something. He definitely had better there. Now white's slightly better. Well, my pawns are on the wrong color. It's going to be hard to win, too. Hard to defend and hard to win. The problem is with so little time, I really... Maybe not. What? He doesn't give me any time to think. He just won the pawn back. One of the pawns. Could I have played king takes? That's a nice move. See, this is why he's 2,300. He's very, very fast and good enough to defend kind of bad positions. This is a bad move by me. It's making it worse. Everything's a draw. My problem was not having played this line a lot. I didn't really understand what's supposed to happen after this. Alright, that's a variation I don't know at all. So I basically spent like 2 minutes thinking about knight e3. This one I knew. So f5, another confusing factor here. It's funny, I've seen bishop a6 more than I've seen f5. I wonder, I have the collection of John Nunn's games. I wonder if he actually... It's not in his book, right? What? Dude, look at that. Do you guys see that? Stockfish. Look at the Stockfish analysis line. It gives 13 f6. Wait. You mean when it doesn't en passant capture, it just does f6? Has anybody else noticed that before? Not g takes f6? f6? Have you guys ever seen this before? That's weird. So I'm out of book here. Apparently knight takes f6 check is really bad. I thought about bishop d3. That looks like it drops the c4 pawn. Easy to rule that out. So this is a clear mistake. I felt it. That is weird, isn't it? When it doesn't en passant move, it just puts the square. Like it's just, the pawn's just appearing there like it's Crazy House or something. 13 f6. That's bizarre. Yeah, this is apparently a huge mistake. Yeah, he should have played queen a5, I thought. Well, actually, I have g4, though. Alright, so he has to play bishop c5. Like this game. Black has good control of the dark squares. Okay, anyways. Moving on to our next 5+3 challenge. Continuing with the theme of playing e4 and classical openings. No, Mr. Coffee, that's weird. What does it say when you have two choices for en passant? That's a cool question. Good question, Asterbate. Oh, I remember this game now. That endgame that I lost. Bishop g4. That's new. I guess that prevents me from playing g3 pretty well. g3 loses a piece there. Oh, now he's got the g3 anyway. The queen e6 check anyway, so this is some sort of trick. Though that endgame is probably not very good for white. Queen e6 check, queen e2, bishop f3, queen e6. Not very good for black. Unclear. Very, very interesting. Queen e6, queen e2, bishop f3, queen e6, f e6, g f3. Not clear who that's better for. It might be better for white. What you talking about, Asterbate? What this position has to do with Karpov, I really have no clue. Looks like a standard kind of King's Indian type position for white. You think it's a bug, Mr. Coffee? An interesting bug. That's like Thibault's joke. I make bugs for lichess. Knight f6. Alright. Just like g3. He had not yet moved his e-pawn. It decides to go 2 squares. It's controversial to put this pawn on e5, I think, because black doesn't have a white squared bishop. White squared bishop. Enunciate your words properly, man. A white squared bishop. No, some might argue that e5 is a positional mistake for black. It's not like he's in danger of losing immediately, but still, it weakens his position in some respect. Maybe that's what Karpov was about. It's funny, Asterbate just referenced Karpov. It's a strange tactical mistake by black. Dropping a pawn here. Maybe more than one. Is this a good move? I'm not sure a5 was a good move. a4 was a good move. a4 weakens my position. Every time you move a pawn, you weaken your position, right? He just dropped a pawn for nothing. I mean, it's really strange. We all make mistakes. Unexpected error. Does not compute. Still, okay, it's not so easy to win. I'm up a pawn, big deal. Right? Just the pawn. It's not like it's decisive automatically, but white does have the 2 bishops. Asterbate, did you foresee Karpov coming and you confused him for Karpov? Is that you having foreshadowing going on? There's another very strange foreshadowing yesterday. did not sleep well. My tinnitus was kicking in really bad. Does anyone else have tinnitus? It's extremely irritating. I've had it for like 20 years. It sort of comes and goes. Don't listen to your music too loud, I guess. I don't know what causes it. Sort of a mysterious problem. Padron Tony, what's up? It seems weird to bring my rook off the A file. For you, good morning for you. Not for me, man. I had a rough night last night. I didn't fall asleep for hours and hours. It's terrible. Primarily because of the tinnitus. This ringing in your ears makes life a little difficult to sleep. It's interesting though, I was listening to music yesterday on my headset in the afternoon. I don't listen every day. And in the evening I had tinnitus really bad. Could be a connection. Hey, this looks really good for white. I have a pawn up, better structure. Limited counterplay here for black. He can centralize his king really powerfully on e6. I still like white. Ear drops to lessen the intensity. Astrobate, it's probably like $1 billion industry, like fake cures to imagine. Snake Oilers. They're probably Twitch streamers who claim they can cure tinnitus. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not clear if it's connected to high blood pressure or it doesn't seem like the relationship is that obvious, you know? It's kind of a mystery, honestly. And there's a lot of people making money off of pretending to be able to treat tinnitus. Special places you go and they do all kinds of tests, but nothing really happens. It's kind of like hair loss. I never met a doctor who can conclusively tell me why I have tinnitus or what's causing it, you know? There are different kinds of tinnitus too. Depends on the sound. This is like a ringing sound, but it can also, like, you could have like a tinnitus related to blood pressure. Snake Oiler. You can probably make more money selling cures to tinnitus than chess streaming. I know some chess players who should switch professions. And I mean, this is a pawn up with a bad structure for black. Should be winning. I mean, I thought he had to play a5 there, honestly. If a5, I have g5. Am I definitely winning? I'm curious about this a5 endgame. Doesn't matter. I have g5. For a moment, I was afraid his king gets in over here. That was why I hesitated. I'll have a breakthrough. Actually, this type of position, the only way to break through is over here on the queen side, apparently. But it's like if he goes too far away, I have a passed pawn. So it's winning regardless. Yeah, no, that was a bad game. I mean, you just gave me a pawn for nothing. You know, that wasn't very good. But probably with the rooks on the board, there's still some hope. I think the bishop endgame is lost. All right. Blobik, Saberbomb, and Car Park. But now, like, the tinnitus bothered me so much that I have a literal sound in my room. It's the refrigerator making this, like, really annoying humming sound. And then you start to be paranoid and think it's your tinnitus. But it's not. This is an actual sound coming from something. All right, let's go. The computer or the refrigerator? The other thing is that it makes you paranoid and crazy if you have this like high-pitched humming sound in your ear for hours on end. I imagine it's a good way to torture people. Yeah, thank you for the game. What's up, guys? We're taking challenges. We'll be back on Sunday with the next stream, Sunday Simul. I think next week's schedule will be pretty normal. We've got a Simul Sunday, then the normal streams, but I'm playing from next Friday in a tournament. Won't affect the streams probably until next Sunday. A week from Sunday. Which will be off because of tournament. Between the 10th and the 18th, we'll have a few cancellations. Blobix, what are you doing? Blobix is not playing the Sveshnikov. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. You'll play Eric using my account. I was wondering why Blobix wasn't playing the Sveshnikov. He's 10 years old and using my account. All right, of course. Young people love the Najdorf. All right, we'll play our best stuff here. It's not actually Blobix. This is pseudo Blobix. Blobix always plays the Sveshnikov. It's really weird being sleep deprived. I fell asleep at about 3 a.m., woke up at 9:30. So I slept 6.5 hours, sort of, but not good quality sleep. Sleep is important. All right, so bishop e7. I'm not supposed to play g4. This is like main line. HTFP. Your phone is always listening to you. That's true. Unless you turn it off. You've been taking a break from chess for the past 6 months. Played a rated blitz tournament just before Christmas. Got 3rd place. Kind of motivated you to play against. Yeah, I should play more blitz and rapid. I'm playing in an over-the-board tournament here. It's a really weak tournament. I'm going to be one of the top players. That tells you how weak it is. But I haven't played a tournament in 20 months. I haven't played a tournament since April. I haven't played a tournament since April of 2018. Guys, I've played in team championship games, but literally no tournaments in something like 20 months. Because my life has been a living hell. So I'm warming up with a pretty weak tournament. B5. I had a game with Farkas Tibor, Hungarian IM, where I think I sacrificed this pawn on e4, like f4, b4, knight a4. He just took it. This 10-year-old seems dangerous. If I sack a piece on e6, bishop takes, pawn takes, knight takes on f8, I get a rook and 2 pawns for 2 pieces, but black's pieces are very active. I don't know what I did wrong here. Shouldn't really happen, and f3 is lame. I hope it's going to be better here, man. I'm seeded second so far, but there'll be more players. It's possible a GM might play. The prizes are not very much. It'll be like a 90, 75, 80, I don't know how many players. Less than 100 players open. Probably just IMs at the most. Maybe one GM might play. But I anticipate being one of the top. I played 10 years ago in this thing, but I should be in the top 3 or 4 players. But it's not for the money or anything. I just want to play. I haven't played in such a long time. in a real tournament. So this type of position, the minor pieces are generally stronger than the rooks in the early stage. That's why it's usually not such a big deal for black to make this kind of exchange or allow this kind of exchange. What year is it? What Chinese year is it? No. Don't have to worry about that. I don't anticipate playing Magnus anytime soon. I had my chance. I mean, he can put more pressure on the center. Actually, he's threatening knight takes e4 on the move. Looking for tactics. Bishop to e4, knight e4, knight e4, bishop e4. It looks like I have to play this feeble move. So weak for white. I hate playing f3. I mean, I've got no play with my rook now. If I had more time, I would look for another way not to play f3 there. You might even have d5 here. It's kind of an adventurous move for black, though, I would say. The one advantage of f3 is that I can move my knight. I got challenges from Haberbaum in general, but why not like some lower rated players? Give me a break. Can you guys give me It's the Year of the Pig? Oh, it will be the Year of the Rat. Yeah. Wasn't that Hikaru's name? No, he was the Year of the Rabbit. That was it. The Year of the Rabbit. The Year of the Rat doesn't sound good. Black's very principled. Strong player. Definitely stronger than Blobix. Very different style. I'm just kidding, Bob. Difficult to say at this point. Who's stronger? I'd rather not go there. If you don't mind, Fish Rat Cow. It's political. Commentary. Controversial topic, I should say. Inappropriate comment at the minimum. Man, I've got to get more sleep today. I would reserve judgment on that decision. I don't have the energy to talk about Donald Trump today. So we got pressure on f5. That's starting to look good. Pressure on d6. This guy here. Oh my god, what is he doing? He's got some super internet connection that's gonna make me flag? He almost flagged me. Wow. Yeah, he just lost a piece. But he hung in there pretty well. I think black might have been better in much of this game. Good game, Blobix. You should start playing the Knight more often. Yeah, here's a mistake. I'm not a huge fan of this line, though, honestly. Yeah, white's already screwed. I swear I played this against Farkash Tibor. And I lost this game. He just took my pawn on e4. Different position, maybe. Yeah, this actually seems okay. You know, I think I might have lost that position against Boris Kryman with black. I wouldn't take that pawn, would I? Michael Valvo against Brown, 1989. Fischer clone. D5. This is unclear. This is terrible what I did, though. This ultra lame A3. Theoretical novelty, Queen D7. Inherently logical move. Lebojevic played Queen E8. I don't know why that's necessarily better. But this is nothing for white, objectively. Magnus would win with either color. It should be about equal. Rufus and Doofus, welcome. Todorov's back with a 10-0 challenge. I don't mind playing you now. Todorov 1700 in 10-0. He's trying to improve his rapid rating. No. I couldn't play him when he challenged me yesterday because I was analyzing games with the subscribers. 1700. When I played this guy 20 years ago, I played the Accelerated Dragon against him, but he's probably prepared for that. I'm just kidding. He's been prepared for 20 years for a rematch. He beat me the last 3 games, and I'm in bad form today, physically. Always have an excuse ready, guys, before you play an important game. That's what I say. Jubajevic. Say it 100 times fast. Lubojevic. Lubo means love in Slavic language. Lubov is a woman's name, or Lubova. My brother was playing. It was my 10-year-old nephew. That was Bobix's excuse for his first game trying the Najdorf. My 10-year-old friend was playing. Let's keep it dynamic. You see, Todorov doesn't like it dynamic. He likes static things. So this variation is kind of a good choice against him. My opponent offered a draw. It was generous. He didn't like his position. He offered a draw. He has to go. Maybe someone came to the door with a FedEx package or something. I'm happy with a draw with black here. Am I better? Equal according to the computer. I'll take a draw. Why would I? I mean, he's probably has to go somewhere. Why would he offer a draw in 10 moves? Think about it. In a casual game. Utzer. Do you think the guy offered a draw because he's scared of me or something? I think he probably had to go, like, answer the door or something. Would be my guess. All right. So Haberbaum. My suspicion is that his girlfriend was yelling at him, or the cat got on the computer or something. It's possible he just didn't like his position, but I don't think so. Not in a casual blitz game. He's offering me a draw because he's scared. But still, I think I do have a pretty good position. He can't be scared of me after he beat me the last 3 games. That's automatically ruled out. I should have played d6 against Haberbaum. We haven't seen him in a while. Ban that guy. Wait. One must play this move first. Haberbaum, I haven't played this like probably since I last played you. I really should have played a different variation here. I want to be friendly to the Grandmaster. I've declined his challenges a couple times recently because I couldn't play. Bishop takes c3 check. That's the answer. Thank you. Is that right? Yeah. It seems like the right move. Sometimes when I've done this, I feel like I'm losing my mind. It seems kind of counterintuitive, but Haberbaum and I have played this before. The problem is that nobody else plays this variation properly with white. Padron Tony played A3 against me in the simul last week after B6, A3. A3 and bishop G5 are interesting moves for white. And E4 seems like the critical test. But very few people know what they're doing with white, you know. Yeah, this is the main idea with A4. But the question becomes, does he have time for that? The problem with the classical Nimzo with white is that you leave your king in the center of the board for too long and you get roasted really fast. I've lost more than one game with white playing the white side of Queen C2 Nimzos where I just failed to develop my pieces, you know. And it can be really deceptive and happen really quick. Optically, it looks like white has all the space and the bishop pair and everything, and automatically should have a great game. Haberbaum also made the mistake of telling me he's like rusty. Now, he could have been just saying that. You're just saying that to make me feel better. But probably he was telling the truth. Oh, that was what we said about excuses. We should have excuses before the game starts, right? I need to get out of here. I think white is marginally overextended. But I have a new system for your classical Nimzo. Kind of close in style to this one. Knight F5. Bishop D3, Bishop G2. How much time does he have? Well, it seems very inconsistent to play A4 and then Bishop E3. So, I think he's rusty. He's played some good games against me before. Some interesting efforts in this variation. You know, basically black puts everything on this bishop. You know, all my money is on the bishop on B7. I don't have a dark square bishop. There goes your pawn structure. It almost seems like a waste to take that bishop on E3. But it's sort of gonna have to happen. If I castle, he has bishop D3. So I was thinking queen C7. We can castle at any time. Queenside, obviously. I made up my mind I was going to castle queenside a long time ago. You believe that? I have some other stories for you. But no, I'm just kidding. If you believe that, you believe anything. I'm obviously castling queenside here. Give me that. Get out of here. Come again. Get out of here and come again. Where's some Infinite Flash Chess? We haven't seen him in a while. Leave my bishop out of this. You will give me that pawn. You will hand it over, and now. I want it now. South Park's pretty cool, yeah. I just have these note papers lying around. Kind of makes a funny joke for the stream. You were here yesterday? They were talking about Mr. Hat. A random grandmaster from Internet Chess Club, who I happen to know. Alright, so what about that pawn? Is that important? Does anyone not like South Park? HTFP? I think that you're inhuman if you don't like South Park. You'd have to be really sick individual. I think I'm getting out of here. Maybe I should put my king on the 7th, but this rook coming down here is pretty disruptive, honestly. I can do without the king centralization here. I'm just going to take as many pawns as possible. 3 pawns up, 2 or 3 pawns up. We're good. Yeah, I guess the people who they make fun of directly might not like South Park. The butts of their jokes are probably likely to not like South Park. Yeah, it's true. Michael Jackson's family, or Michael Jackson. I mean, the average population. Degenerates. Yeah. From the general population, everyone likes South Park. I would assume. The very prudish people who find it offensive maybe don't like it. My mom passed away this year. She was 86. I think it was too much for her, honestly. She had dementia toward the end. I think the humor was just, it was just too offensive, too much. For an older person who was kind of sensitive and polite, you know? I could see how South Park would be too much. For the overly polite, it's over the top. There was some really crude episode on when I made my mom, or I was watching it when she was there. She's just, it was over her head. I mean, I didn't force her to watch it, but it was on, and she was watching it. It was something horrible. Some very offensive episode. What do I do? Just resign. Yeah, I'm saying like Michael Jackson's family is probably pretty offended by it. You can think of some people. But they make fun of everyone, you know. I mean, that's the cool thing about it. It's not like against particular. Everyone is fair game. Two pawns up. I feel two connect to pass pawns coming on. No, actually, that's going to be hard to organize here. Rook d1 is a pretty annoying move, I have to say. Please don't play rook b4. He did it. It was like, if you just wish for something, it happens. Did you see that? The magic power? That was the magic power. That was amazing. I'll do a replay. We should do a clip of that. Somebody should clip that. It was like, please don't play rook b4. What he did it, like, immediately. That's hysterical. Psychic powers. General Buzz, Save a Dog, and Pi Day. Years of predicting my opponent's thinking. Wait. What's this? Slemon the Gada reference? Nice you heard about this? What? What are you guys talking about? Guys, I've got to finish at around 1:30. We have another 30 minutes left. So don't anyone else challenge me. I've got this game, the game against Save a Dog, and Pi Day. That should take us to 1:30. I try to play the Blumenfeld Gambit, but you know the problem. I did a video on the Blumenfeld Gambit, and you should do like a disclaimer. Disclaimer. If you buy this video, your opponents will only allow the Blumenfeld Gambit approximately 5% of the time. Okay, do not base your entire opening repertoire on playing the black side of the Blumenfeld Gambit. But we did get a taker. It looks like d5, b5. Kamsky made some controversial remarks in a banter session. Well, you know, I don't really know Gada personally. I played him once. You know, I never heard anything real bad from him or about him. But his father was, from what I hear and what I saw, kind of a monster. You know, so maybe he can claim like a sort of affluenza defense or something. If your father's insane and abuses you, maybe you're immune from prosecution later for what you said. I don't know, dude. The guy had a monster father. You know, if he did something crazy or said something controversial, I wouldn't be surprised. So he throwing his banter blitz match since his opponent flagged him. Rook and king versus king. What did he never played? He's right, man. I mean, it is like disgusting. What was it? It wasn't just rook and rook. Rook and king versus rook and king endgame. Who would do that though? You know, that is disgusting. I would freak out too. That's all he did. That's not too bad. That's like a Krivonosov move. It's really bad, dude. I would freak out too. I mean, that's disgusting. I agree with him. Bishop b7. d6. I don't know what's going on here. This is weird. It's just a matter of how much you freak out, you know. I wouldn't start shouting racial epithets or anything like that. I thought you guys were gonna say like he said something really controversial. You know. That's nothing. Well, I mean, when Krivonosov did that to me on ICC, I just resigned every time I played him for like 5 years. That was what I did, you know. You're dead to me. That was fun. It was funny. Like, he did it to me multiple times in like 5-minute chess on ICC. And after like the second or third time, if I ever got paired with him in the 5-minute pool, I would just resign on move 1. You know, I mean, I'm not going to play this person after doing that. You know, period, end of story. Calling himself a legend. He is a legend. I don't think he's a particularly exciting legend. But I appreciate his style. I appreciate Gata as a player, you know, I really do. That's why I resigned against him when I lost a pawn. The only player I've ever played where I just like lost a pawn and resigned. Wait a minute here. B4. Wow, Spinal Tap. What's up, man? Long time no see. Happy birthday. Happy New Year, man. What's up? I was gonna say happy birthday. It's like automatic. Happy. We haven't seen Spinal Tap, International Master. Spinal Tap chess. Long time. What's the news? How goes it? I've never had anything quite like this one before. Playing Kamsky, you got to get like something dynamic going on against him. Being down a pawn in a balanced position is pretty much not fun. You're sick and woke up at 7. I thought you had the late night hours. Not quite sure what I'm doing here. This move does not promote black's development. But you guys are ignoring the bigger issue. What kind of a scumbag plays for time against a world championship contender with rook against rook? See, that's the problem with online chess that a lot of people don't realize. You don't do that against anybody, let alone like a world championship contender, okay? Any kind of sport, I don't care what it is, tennis, golf, football, soccer, chess, whatever it is, there's got to be some kind of rules of etiquette. You know, you don't do this, it's dishonorable. Yeah, it's not a game anymore. That's stupid. You just agree to a draw when it's rook against rook. It's just accepted. Any strong players know that. It's only like internet noobs who know that that's basically bad etiquette. This guy's wasting his time playing some loser online, you know, giving him a free lesson, and the guy's flagging him with rook versus rook. I would freak out too. It's okay if it's like rook and pawn against rook or something like that. But you got to know the etiquette. You don't do it with rook against rook. You don't do it in dead drawn positions where it's like ops colored bishops and you can't move the pawns. there's a very sensitive kind of etiquette about it. It's not like you can never win on time, but there's a few situations where you just don't do it. Rook against rook is one of them. The other one is ops-colored bishops, where you just can't move anything. You got to agree to a draw. It's automatic. It's an unwritten rule of blitz chess. I don't care if it's like online or over the board or anything. The problem is that this, like, the whole bullet chess thing is sort of degenerated blitz chess. Half-minute blitz, 15 seconds, bullet, whatever. I mean, people don't understand anymore what etiquette is about. You don't flag people. I don't care if it's a 1200 or a world championship candidate with rook against rook. There's no honor left after that, you know. You might as well just like cheat or something. It's equivalent. You offer a draw. I mean, simply. General buzz. New opponent. Okay. Let's see what's happening here. Yeah, I don't think you got the right generation there, HTFP. I'm not 60 or something. I don't know who this guy is, but he's sort of turned into a strategic genius. Do I dare take that? Oh, this is a bad decision. Very risky. Then again, it's risky for him to do that. He might have gone too far now. Wait, what? This guy is aggressive enough. Doesn't know when to stop. All right. Well, now you're talking my language. I love boring, simplified endgames. Not easy to win this, though. Should have played g5 check there, probably. Reminds me of a game I had with Blobix. I think it was. Did you have bishop b3 check there? He had bishop b3 check, didn't he? Wow, that was an amazing effort by white. What the heck was up with bishop b3 check? Maybe I had screwed it up. It doesn't matter? Yeah, king f7 is a blunder. Jeez. This position I blundered because of king f7, bishop b3 check. I have to play king g7. It doesn't matter where I put the king from what I'm trying to do. But here I give him bishop b3 check. It's just a draw after that. I mean, let's check, but I think so. I have to play king e8. That's just a draw. It should just be a draw. I had the position in the bag, though, after king g7. Quite an effort by white. Anyway, guys, okay, Todorov's lost his mind. 4-0. No, I gotta go. All right, last two games. Save a Dog. Our last two games, Save a Dog and Pi Day. Thanks, guys, for being subscribers. Yeah, I was expecting a two bishops versus nothing. Yeah, that's terrible to turn Kamsky into a meme. I would have freaked out. You could be memeing me now. But I mean, who was he playing against that this happened? Out of curiosity. Nobody seems to enter that. Was it just like a random player? Or who was he playing against that flagged him with rook against rook? Nobody seems to know that. Just a random player, or a strong player. It was a GM. Was he like 13 years old or something? I mean, it couldn't be an adult, surely. Never heard of him. He's probably like 16 years old or something. You beat Gata? Acerbate? Nice job. You would do that. The last time you flagged me in a simul, I was pretty sick about that too. Maturity is a state of mind, right? You can be 13 years old mentally and be 20. Bullet continues to degenerate chess. Remember when Wesley So freaked out on lichess? He said people were cheating against him. He stopped playing here. Inevitability. I mean, sometimes I get angry and start to freak out. I'm better lately about it, but I agree with the rook against rook is you're crossing the line. There are some marginal positions where, you know, it's debatable, but that's one of the kind of really fundamental no-nos. The problem is, like bullet chess, it's almost like all rules are off the table, you know, if you start playing a lot of bullet chess. There's no more honor, there's no more anything. So these people are playing Kamsky in some banter blitz as if it was like a 30-second bullet game mentality, I guess. You should definitely show some respect for your opponent, though. And that's what that guy failed to do. I mean, why should Kamsky waste his time? You got to understand. You're getting to play one of the greatest players in the last, like, 25 years. Why would you disrespect him? It seems sort of stupid. Can I play f4 here? He hasn't castled yet. I usually like to see white castle before I initiate like a committal attack. Well, I don't think there is a pleasure in that, Padron. I think there's some people who might think there is. Savadog's back to the English, but he was playing knight f3. He's gone back to his roots with c4. Asterbate, how does this compare to your game from yesterday's analysis? What if there's a pawn on d5? Actually, even here I have knight f7. So if you compare this to your game that you shared with us yesterday, knight d8 in this case is not a bad move. Asterbate had an opponent yesterday where they were black and Asterbate had a pawn on d5 and black had a pawn on f7 and black voluntarily retreated their knight back to d8, you know. I mean, that's terrible. If there's a white pawn on d5, at least you have to be able to go to f7 with a knight. You know, e6 is better. Now we can try f4 as a pawn sacrifice. Speculation. Like, I mean, he just takes with the e pawn. I don't think I have anything. White is possibly going to have problems with the e3 square here. If he tries to play f4, he could be really weak on e3. Between queen on the e line and knight g4, I have good chances of an attack here. But maybe that's not his only option. Closed position knights are okay. White's bishop pair, not necessarily an advantage. He can play d5, and it's true that this will be active. But you can't have both. And f3 is pretty weakening here. So I suspect black is fine. It's an interesting question. Would I go to g5 or c5 if he were to push this pawn forward? Looks like he's uncomfortable judging by his time usage. Savadog, you're 1565? What? What? He's like 1900 over the board. Dude, what did you do? You lost rating points? You went down? He's sandbagging. Again. Told you not to do that. That's not honest. Save dog. The problem here is that bishop here. It's going to be impossible to get rid of that knight on f4 by playing g5. We have other means. Obviously, I can play knight h5. It's not all that great, though. Looks like we're going to have to live with it. Oh, this is a blunder. No. No, but I don't know about this. It's not that I'm worried about knight d5. And I don't have to worry about this pawn. How can I get in there? How do I get rid of that knight? I have to sack a rook for it, basically. Sack a rook. Okay, just tell me how. Like this? How about... Okay, even like best case scenario. I really need to mobilize the rest of my pieces. Bishop d7. This move looks... That move looks weird. I think he needs the bishop on this diagonal. But maybe he has a trick that I overlooked. He had a trick I overlooked. Someone mentioned c5. It's an interesting move. There's no time for that now. Would you like an exchange? Damn. Wait, what happens here if I go after him? Knight g3, no. d5 is even interesting. Quite an idea. What am I doing? I have g5. Why didn't I think of that before? g5 would have been a little simpler if I had played that previously. Previously on our show, Black intended to play g5. Highly controversial. What about a rook sack? I think that white had a good game here. He could have played queen d1 going after my pawn. It's probably fairly important. Now he's got, what, a check invasion on the twilight zone or whatever. If I sack a rook. What? Well, yeah, why don't I just take that? You're just getting mated. Okay, this is a disaster. I mean, there's so many ways that white could have probably saved it. But here, queen d1. Gotta eliminate, I would say eliminate the pawn, no? Peter thinks I have compensation. It agrees with the move, d5. Oh. And it thinks you should just let me sack on h4 and just pretend like nothing happened. That's true. Like, what's my next threat? How am I going to mate you with the knight in f4? It's going to take a while. Balkush. What's up, man? Thanks for joining us. I'm just finishing up here. Overtime. Not leaving myself a lot of time. Balkush. Sorry. It's my Hungarian. Peter Balkus. Happy New Year. Paide's pretty good against the King's Indian, if I remember correctly. Mubat's at it again. Well, he played g3. The quiet positional line. Rook e1. Did I play this against Paide before? He seems to know what he's doing. I must have played this against him. Jeez. I played it like once against someone. It could have just happened to be the exact same player I played this against. No, I was white last time in a King's Indian. That was a Najdorf. This game I don't remember. It could have been the same line. This move looks familiar. I rushed with knight g5, knight f3. Yeah, I think I had a pretty good game, Coach Ah. I think I did have a good game there. I'm not sure about this. This looks a little bit sketchy. But you got to do something. He just does like knight c3, knight e4, fe4, f3. Look, Mono, bad bishop. I mean, it's a normal strategic idea in the Stonewall Dutch to trade our bishop on f4 for a knight or something like that, even another bishop. If I reinforce his pawn, it makes e4 extremely strong for white. That's a big problem here. Big, big, big problem. So knight takes c3, b takes c3 is a strategic disaster. Maybe black is just like lost after that. What if I don't do that though? What if I don't play that? He has another idea. But I have knight f6 and I have time to play knight c6 and e6. Maybe this isn't so bad. I mean, I'm just basically hoping that by keeping pressure on d4, yeah, queen c2 looks really, really weak. Honestly. Someone on sound, you're a little bit late. I know it's early there. You just woke up. You're late, but you're early at the same time. We're just finishing the stream. Guys, Simul on Sunday at 6:30. I had a terrible night last night, guys. I didn't sleep very well. I have occasional tinnitus and couldn't fall asleep almost all night. Dude, ringing in the ears. It's extremely annoying. I've been suffering from this condition for like 20 years. It just comes and goes. There's no cure. Astrobate claims that there are eardrops that can make tinnitus go away. I don't know, man. Queen c2 I'm feeling better, though. I was a little bit groggy this morning. Queen c2 looks wrong. Tinnitus, you know. Like ringing in the ears. Probably I listened to music too loud. I'm not really sure. But it's really rough if you can't sleep because of it. Queen c2 looks like a bad move. Should I play e6 or should I try to play knight c6? Let him take on f5 and then take the d4 pawn. If e6, e4, I don't see how he can justify that. e6, e4, fe4, fe4, pawn e4, knight e4, queen takes d4, check. Bishop e3. Alright, it's a tough call. Karpov would play like bishop e3 here. Bishop e3, bishop f2. It looks like a Karpov Grunfeld, Fianchetto Grunfeld kind of position. I mean, as I said earlier in the stream, like, I never met a doctor who could tell me why I have tinnitus. It's like extremely strange condition that even like expert doctors, like ear doctors, can't even tell you what it's caused by. Or once I went to the like hearing specialist and they basically couldn't do anything. I mean, no one even knows what's causing it, you know. It's really weird. Practicing medicine. But I do think it's interesting that I listened to music yesterday quite a bit, and I never drew that clear of a correlation to it, but it may have been directly. The reason why it was worse last night than usual but I've had it for a long time, and luckily, it's like in my case, it's not continuous. I mean, some people seem to have it almost non-stop, which must be devastating. This is a very important structure if you play Grunfeld Fianchetto variation or exchange Slav mutual C file. It's like, generally speaking, like whoever, this position's a little more complex because white could try something like maybe G4, but whoever gets control of that support point, whether it's C4 or C5, usually gets a really strong outpost and sort of dominates the game. I used to play the Fianchetto. I still do. I mean, play the Fianchetto variation, but see the difference here between our respective positions. He cannot use the C5 outpost, and I have permanent access to C4. This is why this position might favor black. I mean, maybe you could try something radical like E4 or G4, but neither of these is really all that clear. You know, does he have enough defense of the D4 pawn? And if he plays G4, he weakens his king side. I had a game against one of our Hungarian friends. It was I was white and I doubled on the C file, something like this, but I got screwed. Here it actually looks good though. Though he can play bishop f1. Damn it. Bishop f1 is going to be a problem. I might have to play knight b8. Because if he plays bishop f1, he takes pressure off of e4. I can play like knight b8, keeping him off of a6. Now here, maybe I ought to just occupy that square. Man, I'm about to lose on time. Occupy democracy. I don't know if this is a good move in this particular position. Both sides have potential sacrifices on the enemy pawn chain, which I have employed in Fianchetto Grunfeld. Ooh, I'm also allowing potentially knight b5. So this move may have been premature. My time pressure is a serious issue here. Time pressure. Damn. This is all about the knights now. One knight, two knight, whatever. I'm about to lose on time. Other than that, everything's okay. I don't know about this decision. I'm about to flag. Unfortunately, has a move. Obviously, I haven't played this that well. He started moving fast. You're not talking about me, I assume. Didn't even see queen g4 check. It's all right. No problem. We had a similar game with Morois earlier this week. He who hath not a bishop you hath not bishop. Thou hath not bishop. It's Old English. Who hath not bishop shall not speak. Badly of the knight. Oops. I couldn't think of something cool to say. OMG. There's no threats here or anything. Thou hath not. Thou hath not bishop. Hath extra pawn. That game where Morois had the bad bishop in a similar scenario, he actually had a defense. I don't know if anyone remembers that game a few days ago. Sorry guys, I'm kind of tired. This took a lot out of me, this final positional effort. I'm curious, guys, if this opening has ever been tried before. Knight h4. And everyone played knight takes c3. I just didn't see what you're supposed to do here for black. It's just not that bad. Okay, this is misplaced. So apparently you can take and play bishop e6. Korpa Bense against Sedlak 2015. Not many games. Rachmanov, Drew Carlson, the World Rapid. So I tried this d5. How bad is it? It's a novelty. Yeah, I don't think that Mihai Marin considered this in his... Whoever did the New in Chess yearbook 20 years ago on this variation, I'm not sure that d5 was considered. How bad is this? Why is this so bad? Knight takes f5, g takes f5. What's the refutation? cd5, cd5. Okay. Show me the refutation. f3. That's what he did. Now, knight d6 apparently is better. That's interesting. But I knew I can't exchange knights. I think exchanging knights is like almost lost for black because of e4. Maybe it's a way for black to defend. So I played knight f6. He should just play e4 anyway. Let's say knight takes. Damn. Completely computer generated. Knight takes d5, slicing black's position. HTFP, thank you guys. So this apparently is a better try here. What a weird idea. Yeah, Rhodes a positional player, so he would be attracted to something like bishop f5. He's totally strategist. A closed line like bishop f5 would attract him. I'm not surprised. Very good positional player. Here, knight b5, and if e4... Yeah, this is interesting. It's playable for black, but the engine thinks that white is definitely better. All right, guys, I can't take any more challenges. I got to run. I will see you on Sunday for our next stream. Thanks, everybody, for playing and for analyzing with me a bit here. Happy New Year, belated. Thank you, guys. Hey, don't forget, Sunday, we have a subscription. Sorry, Simul. Oh, I don't know what I'm talking about. Subscriber stream was yesterday. Sunday, Simul, 6:30 p.m. CET, 25 players. Bye-bye. Later, guys. Take care.